Okay, let's go. All about that clear.
Maybe they'll have a free bag.
I was gonna say, so last night apparently I talked to a bunch of Macs.
Yeah.
We saw them like churches. The men all wearing, how they're all wearing churches.
I saw them last night.
Tent, I guess, because they're like this morning, being on the elevator. And they're like, oh, British tent.
Oh, you'll be fine. And I was like, that was helpful. I feel so much better. If there's anything that I thought, and it wasn't, come on, I want to be motivational. Right? Another last minute, like, I'm just not.
Everybody always comes back to like, just go.
No.
I don't accept. I know. I don't accept it. And I appreciate that from you, but
no, I know.
I want to do it for my own learning. Like, I want to know. And like,
I just don't want to learn that. That's not a priority.
it's totally reasonable.
And that's fine. But I think
Are you doing
I'm not yet. No. Oh, okay. I'm the next. Yeah.
So I feel kind of like not in touch with all of the things that I want to do. I feel like I have today a lot of them I want to do. I want to choose to do. I want to go to whatever. So I feel like my training is not done. Like I'm just thinking of this as a
And that's part of the problem with the program is that 3 years of school and finally you're supposed to block each semester long. You'd be ready to be in.
Do you know what they do in yoga? That's what they do. They do classes. And then the last year, you have one class, 1 day a week for the entire year. And then the rest of the time, you're
Kerm, is this thing still on?
No, I don't think it's still on.
I would have made more faces for you.
I've been there so many people. No way.
I'm getting in trouble already.
keep an eye on her. Blocks in different areas.
Yeah.
And you act as a preceptor when you start.
Yeah.
And then by the time that you leave at World War I, the expectation is that you are taking your nurse's full workload.
Yeah, because that's
When you're done, you are just like, you're prepared. And then they're like, it's true, you guys walk onto the floor
and they know
it's a small thing.
it doesn't matter. They can still go anywhere and they have the confidence to be able to figure it out. And that's the problem. We're not graduating confident grads. I'm not confident. I have no idea what to do. That's the point.
I have
But I did manage YouTube here. No, it went into the left pity nostril. I'm gonna run to the bathroom again because my bladder is having a fun relationship with the toilet. I had a cup of coffee and I think that's no, it's nothing irritated. I'm just like
Well, I just keep hanging out with you.
I think I'm pretty much here for the day because I don't think I'm gonna go to the. Does she? Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna look him up because I really like. I want to look up the Canadian obesity thing too.
The key players in Congress. He works with them a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, my sister-in-law works for
I'm just gonna run to the bathroom.
I guess Dr. House. He mentioned fun. I was like, oh. Yeah. So like no, but there's good. There's the international.
Okay, are you staying here?
Yeah.
Do you did
No, I'm in the express program, so it's only 2 years, and I'm my second semester. We've already started clinical. Like I'm in long-term care right now. So, and you're going to be that's good. I'm gonna be done by December 14th. Like it's really quick.
Yeah.
But it's a lot, really quick.
It's so good. Yeah. I did it 3 years.
Did you? Did you go for? Oh, the rest. Yeah. Because you already had a degree when you started.
No, I didn't actually. I had 1 year of it.
Oh, okay. Because that was in you had your electives and stuff.
Yeah, because I sort of like more to run for nursing for a year because I just decided that I didn't do something for state and I feel
That's such a barrier for people.
I know. And so, but then I started a degree in ophthalmology.
Okay.
And I only did 1 year before. And it was all like that. That's like
Right.
all basically the same.
But you felt like you wanted to work with people more.
And then I was like, no, I don't want to teach multiplication.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I just became 1 year. It only took 1 year in the university. No, I can't see it.
Yeah, that's my thing too. Yeah. I need to be walking around.
When I'm busy, I'm happy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I'm up on the top motivated.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Mine was there, so we didn't really have but our peers who were in but once you're in you get the theory and you get in, you're in like the cute adult
like 5 minutes.
see the next one is.
I think it's 5 minutes, isn't it? Yeah, he is. No. No, I'm just like, I'm like emotionally eating. I'm like, oh, I don't have anything to do. I should. Oh, I was gonna get money for Yeah, I know. I think they're bad.
I kind of like it up there.
There's a Scotiabank right in. I'll be back in a sec. I just need to go get some tickets.
Decided I wanted some tea.
You guys would never be.
I'll be back.
everyone does, yeah. It must have just been the way it makes it possible.
Yeah, or maybe they were just trying to fit as much.
I got it. Not a problem.
Because I didn't
I just feel bad too because some of the things that we everybody like, that's all the stuff.
I actually
I even say
I'm great to get something else with her.
I think I sold 150.
You did, no.
It's not hard. People want to support you, even if you're just like your friends and family. Like, I literally was like,
I felt like if I put that post on my Facebook, it would just mean that was like embarrassing or side.
well, I thought that too. I put it on a lot of people's messages privately. And it was like, it's when you're like family and friends, you meet regardless of your years, and they're like, I'll support you. Here's $10. But I'm not going to say that. Even when I do like runs and stuff, I only ask what's cool. Like never my friends do stuff. Like it's
don't take your confidence and play by yourself. Like I want to do that, but
so far but we only caught it $5 a day. I'm way past.
We're done.
I just keep putting, even if like,
I just wanted to take a birthday.
guys, you can go bring me. I agree with that, but it means somebody has to practice. That's their problem.
And I thought that the other day. You don't have to be involved in everything. No. But you know,
Or throw in $10.
yeah, for, you know what I mean? Out of all of you that was 4 years, that's kind of nice.
They had
Hello, everyone. So, I'm here to introduce our third speaker of the day. His name is Dr. Robert Hewish, and he is an assistant professor in international development studies at Dalhousie University. He's the author of Where No Doctor Has Gone Before, Cuba's Place in the Global Health Landscape. He teaches courses related to poverty and human rights, global health, activism in social movements, and experiential learning in Canada. Let's welcome Dr. Hewish.
Hello, good morning, good morning. Okay, if I go over time, just throw something at me. I'll do it. So my name's Bob Hewish. I teach here at Dalhousie in International Development Studies. And today I want to talk to you, basically make 2 points about the place of practitioners, much like yourselves, in the global health landscape. I'm going to tell you 2 anecdotes today. One about the happenings going on in Cuba, about what they're doing to try to get more health workers around the planet, and then another bit of work I've done in India, which I'm sure you'll find interesting. And it's sort of based on, here we go, it's just come out, it's on bookshelves everywhere now. My latest book about Cuba's place in the global health landscape. So if you're interested, I can always hook you up with a copy of that. But to begin, what is global health? I understand that the CNSA is interested in developing and expanding a global health stream or international health stream. And this is good. It's a popular run of course that a lot of practitioners are getting into when it comes to global health. But what is it? I mean, what is it in terms of the ethics of global health? And what is it in terms of global health equity? Right? I mean, it is a bit of a joke to say that we have universal health care. Right? When Paul comes down from outer space, he's looking for a doctor. I mean, or a healthcare worker at all. I mean, we're currently living in a world where we need 4.3 million healthcare workers by tomorrow, by breakfast. And we don't have 4.3 million health workers. We don't have 4.3 million of you. We don't have 4.3 million physicians, village health workers. And every day that happens, we continue to live in a world where 50,000 people will not make it each day due to the result of absolutely ridiculous reasons, from entrenched poverty to not being able to see a physician. So this is why I come from the way that Martin Luther King Jr. said, look, of all the forms of inequality, it's injustice in healthcare that is the most shocking and inhumane. So this is what I say the 4.3 million challenge. And there's a question that I think we have a responsibility as practitioners and as advocates of health to look at. How can we actually train highly qualified health workers to work in marginalized communities? It's no joke that not every person who graduates from a nursing program or a medical school really wants to go work rural somewhere where other people are around. And there's something to say that how do we get people to go in some of the most marginalized and impoverished communities in the world? And secondly, when we get there, how can we actually expand health knowledge at the community level? Right? When we show up in a vulnerable community, a marginalized area, what can we do to ensure that our knowledge of basic health issues, health prevention, health promotion, disease prevention, can stay in the community? And that's what I want to address. And I want to start by telling you a story that I heard when I was in India about a village health worker called Lakhote Paul. Now, Lakhote Paul was a village health worker. She was invited to speak, much like at a place like this. Ballroom, similar setting. There were a lot of delegates there, a lot of physicians, members of the World Health Organization were there. And they were listening to Lakhote Paul in this kind of room tell stories about how she, as a Dalit, what was a member of the caste system in Maharashtra, India, was trained by nurses, by physicians, even though she was semi-literate, in basic community health prevention and disease community health promotion and disease prevention. About how she's able to train the next generation, about how she's able to do some of the most basic services, pregnancy tests going on here, right? But she's going on and she's telling about the methods and the things that she uses, and she says, and she points out to the crowd, she says, you know, you physicians and healthcare workers, you're exquisite like this chandelier, right? Your knowledge radiates. When we are near your knowledge, we all benefit from it. But she said, like this chandelier, you are very expensive, and you are very inaccessible. And it takes a long time and a lot of effort for many people, especially in rural areas around the world, to come and bask in your wisdom. And she says, by having been trained with some of the most basic skills, the social determinants of health, she says, I like this too. Because what I can do is light the next generation, pass my skills on at the community level, and as a result, actually have a big impact on health outcomes. So this is the village health worker model in Jamkhed, India, which many of you are interested in going more about afterwards. I can tell you about. The other model here is this group of women from around the US and Ghana, actually, who came to Cuba to receive free medical education at absolutely no charge. The only agreement for the scholarship is that they would go back to vulnerable communities around the world and apply their skills. Each year, 1,500 of them graduate, and they do. They go back, such as this group here, Dania and Jackie, who I worked with in Ecuador, operating the only community health clinic within 100 miles in the town called Hoya de los Sauces, in the middle of the Ecuador's Amazon. So this is what I want to tell you about. You know, we want to get a sense of what global health is, the limits of our place in global health, a little bit about Cuba, a little bit about this thing in India. But what I want to try to discuss today is that global health generally avoids discussions of big ethical conundrums, right? Of how even sometimes our best practices in the field can actually increase inequity and increase dependency. And I think that within the medical sciences, there's generally a focus on short-term interventions, a little bit of adventurism, a little bit of philanthropy. what I want to say is, can we find examples where we can demystify medical knowledge to work towards global health equity? And by that I mean, how can we actually share our knowledge, basically give it away to the poor? Can we do it as students? Can we do it as practitioners? Can we do it as advocates? I mean, okay, so my background is a geographer. There's my trade union obligation map. You always have to put one in, otherwise the union will get upset. So there's my geography map of the world by territory. Right? Now, this is the view of the world, the Peters projection that shows the land masses by territory. But we all know we can play with maps and make different pictures. So what if we looked at the world in terms of where everybody lived, right? Japan sort of swells up, India sort of swells up. New Zealand's gone. There's only 4 million people there and 40 million sheep, so nothing you can do about that. Canada shrinks considerably, right? So if we play this game, we can distort the maps to look at global health equity. When we look at the proportional amount of mortality, you see it really doesn't bother us a whole lot in Canada, and it doesn't bother anyone in Iceland, because in 2008, it was maternal mortality. Almost every child survives in those countries, and mothers as well. But it's an overwhelming issue when you go to places like India, Pakistan, Sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria. When you look at the world from the amount of preventable causes, deaths from preventable causes, the basic stuff, mosquito bites and dirty water, the real simple stuff. That doesn't tend to bother us a whole lot in Canada, even though there are communities that do suffer from this. But it's an overwhelming concern in Sub-Saharan Africa. So then when we ask, where are the health workers who can participate in making these scenarios go away to address this global burden of disease, we see they are in exactly the opposite places where the demand is the greatest. They're in North America, they're bursting out of Europe, but Africa's gone. Right? And this is why when you travel in East Africa, you go to a country like Burundi, and you look in the Lonely Planet of East Africa, and you say that you need medical attention, it just clearly says, leave Burundi to find medical attention. Anybody know this guy? Any medical educators in the crowd? Abraham Flexner? Now, Mr. Flexner, as you know, for those in sciences, medical sciences, for your colleagues in who want to become physicians, they'll know who this guy is, because when medical education started, way back, thousands and thousands of years ago, it was sort of done in a, a little bit of this idea, a little bit of this idea, but then in 1910, Flexner came in and said that you need to standardize medical sciences with science. Really, really rigorous science. That should be the focus, right? And that transcends into all the health professions. And it's exactly why you need to pass things like this in order to get into medical school and elsewhere. But you won't see anything in the MCAT tests about the social determinants of health. And you won't see anything about why people are poor in some parts of the world and wealthy in places in other parts of the world. And you won't see anything that tests your knowledge as to why the healthcare system in Burundi is failing, right? That's not often discussed. Now, every other attribute of medical education, right down to how we're going to improve the course on histology, right, or whatever, requires several levels of bureaucracy, of administration. These panels get together, they discuss every single attribute of curriculum development, except one area, which is global health. Right? The 18 allopathic medical schools, we'll talk about the doctors for a minute here, the allopathic medical schools in Canada, only 2 schools actually have a very structured office of global health. In many cases, you have students who've gone abroad telling students who are going to go abroad about their experiences and what to expect. Right? The question I put forward is that when everything in medical science education is so finely tuned, why is it that there's no standardized curriculum in global health? Be it in nursing, be it in physiotherapy, be it in pharmacy, be it in dentistry, be it in medicine. There's nothing. And often when we talk about global health, especially in the practitioner side, it comes down to this. It comes down to doing 2-week rotations, maybe 4-week rotations, to go abroad, help out the poor community, right? We get that, and we get why there's a need for that, right? We want to try to help. And there may be a lot of good for short-term interventions to provide help and care, right? The same thing, the suitcases are packed full of medicines, we come overstock at the pharmacy. But at a broader level, there are some ethical conundrums with this. The first is that, well, quite simply, here in Halifax, if we were to reorganize our healthcare system in a way that would allow physicians and nurses from Ghana and India to come over on 2-week internships, 2-week rotations, and provide health care to the community level, we'd never stand for it. Right? We would not tolerate that kind of service. And secondly, if our medicines came to the pharmacies in Halifax through suitcases every now and then, we also wouldn't tolerate that. There would be widespread advocacy and activism encouraging change to that system. But yet, in a global scale, that activism wanes. We haven't quite had that conversation yet. Even when we look at global health initiatives, such as the big